move on to our third session, that is smartphone addiction, impact of COVID-19. To begin our session, I invite upon the dais our chairpersons, Dr. K.K. Mishra. Sir has about 24 years of service in the armed forces and presently is a professor and HOD of MGIMS Sevakram Medical College in Maharashtra, Wardha. He is also trained in child and adolescent psychiatry. Can you please mute the thing? Trained in child and adolescent mental health, and he has more than 30 publications reviewed and editorial board member as well, and has direct council member of Indian Psychiatric Society. He is also an executive council member of the Indian Association for Child and Adolescent Mental Health from 2015 to 17. Sir has been a treasurer for ICAM, zonal representative for IAG, MH, and life member of IPS, IASP, ICAM, IAPP, IAG, MH. We welcome you, sir. Next, I call upon Dr. NG Samira Devi. Can we have a slide? Yes. So, ma'am is the assistant professor, Department of Clinical Psychology in RIMS Imphal, and she is one of the earliest women clinical psychologists for Manipur, and she has more than 16 publications. We welcome you, ma'am. I introduce. Can we please have this speaker slide, please? I request one of the chairpersons to kindly introduce our speaker, Dr. Rachna Bhargava. KK Mishra, sir, are you on the... Sir, can you please introduce Dr. Rachna?
Please unmute. Sir,
sorry, unmute. Yes. Good evening. Good evening, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Vinipa, with a nice introduction. So just have a few words about Dr. Rachna. And she has been working at AIMS for a quite long time and presently working as additional professor there on the clinical psychology. He has got a lot of awards from the WHO and including the GC Baral Award and BK Burma Award of Indian National Social Psychiatry. And he has got a lot of premium work in the area of addiction, the behavioral addiction among the children. And in the present scenario with the COVID situation, how it is impacted the behavioral pattern among the children with mainly in the behavioral component. She'll be dealing in that area. And without wasting much of time, I'll request Rachna Madam to start our topic. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Chairpersons, and initially I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my experience in the area of behavior addiction. Smartphones are integral in our lives. So first of all, before talking about the COVID and smartphones, I would like to first of all show about how common are the smartphone use. The number of people who own smart and feature phone are 4.78 billion, which makes us 45% of the world population owning the smartphones. And as one can see that over the years, the smartphone use has increased. India being one of the having the most, the higher smartphone users among the various countries. The number of mobile phone internet users are also increasing over the years. India happens to be the second largest internet subscription of the market in the world. When it comes to children, one can see from this slide that in India, in urban setting as well as in rural setting, the number is very high among the children as well as among children as well as the adolescents. When it comes to internet user, one can see that among the various devices, mobile is the most commonest device used to access internet. Even in rural as well as in urban setting, though the number of children who are using are less, but internet use is present. If one traces the history in India of how mobile phone came, and one can see that from 1995, when the first mobile phone was used, after the gap of 16 years, we sort of became smart enough to start using the smartphones. With the advent of geo features as well as Android, it helped us to make smartphones more easier, available, and accessible. The various kind of activities that children indulge in include online games for entertainment, they access various web services for getting connected for social networking, and then video calling for learning. Based on the typology of internet users and applications, one can categorize them in terms of productivity, information seeking, social interaction, entertainment, and personal status. The question comes, as in the previous speakers have been talking about addiction and the nosology. So what about smartphone addiction? Is it really an addiction? Addiction as a construct in relation to smartphone use, the debates are still going on, but there is not enough evidence to say smartphone problematic use as addiction. The problematic smartphone use has some commonalities in relation to addiction, internet addiction, gaming addiction. However, because of its uniqueness in terms of the platform and the interface of a smartphone, it is dissimilar from other addictions. The research has shown that certain people do become attached to their devices that they experience, and they show separation anxiety, fear when the phone goes missing. They become panicky, desperate, and preoccupied with the phone. There is a fear of missing out something crucial. The device becomes a source of dealing with the stress. And some of the common behavior, which are, I think, among our audience, would be very common when it comes to like taking smartphone along with one on the bed or bathroom, checking it constantly, even when after the hours have passed, checking every time whenever the notification comes, the fear that I'll miss out something, spend several hours on the phone, feel helpless with the phone, make sure that one can see it's in the visible area. And sometimes one starts lying to avoid social interaction so that one can be on smartphone. So although DSM-5, as has been discussed, that only gaming and gambling gets their mention. And because of the lack of evidence, the smartphone addiction has not been added in the classificatory system. Still, it has been seen that the studies estimate that smartphone addiction ranges from anywhere between 0% to 35%. There are enough number of studies. However, on children and adolescents, there is lack of substantial evidence. In 2016, Lin et al. Did talk about 28 criteria, some referring to almost similar to the addiction, the behavioral addiction guidelines, that 3 or more following symptoms should be present, as one can see from the symptoms, in terms of functional impairment, and one needs to exclude manic episode and OCD. I would particularly like to highlight the psychological constructs when one wants to talk about problematic smartphone use. Because of the lack of evidence, we don't call it smartphone addiction, but problematic smartphone use has been accepted, and one needs to take into consideration the socio-cultural context in terms of reinforcement behavior and preoccupation. To explain the construct, one does uses the addiction principles in terms of positive and negative reinforcement. Using the smartphone is like dealing with it elevates the negative emotions, and getting notifications on the smartphone is like getting a booster of the positive emotions. So positive and negative reinforcement do explain the initiation and maintenance of problematic use. There are several causal theories on the line of internet addiction. Some of the important pathways, as have been shown here, include habitual use, seeking reassurance in the form of social support when connecting for the smartphone use, then reluctance to miss important information. So preoccupation remains there for the smartphone use. Extroverted people like to connect, so smartphone use is more. And impulsivity, which also means there is a lack of control to use smartphone within the limits. As shown here, I wanted to demonstrate that how even for smartphone use, we can talk in terms of biopsychosocial model to explain the protective and the risk factors for problematic smartphone use. In terms of psychological contribution, sociocultural factors, comorbid symptoms, and other environmental reinforcers. Now, what are the various concerns when one is using smartphones? One wants to highlight that there are various aspects of smartphone that one needs to talk about. One is content, what kind of app the child is using, whether he's sharing any sexual content, to what extent he's using smartphone because it has harmful consequences, whether he is preoccupied with smartphone all the time to the extent that has to lie and hide. It has been seen that cyberbullying has become very common, especially when online, when we have become more dependent on smartphones. There are other health hazards when it comes to like traveling on the roads, whether walking or driving, and the problems like pain on the neck, shoulder because of the wrong posture, and long use of hand using smartphones. It also disrupts the interpersonal relationships and obviously interferes with the academics. New pathologies have been identified, though there is lack of evidence. I'll just highlight them. We talk about nomophobia, that is no mobile. There is a fear regarding that one is losing mobile, and one is missing out some important information. Then there is textophrenia, the false sensation of having received a text message or call that leads to constantly checking the device. Another textiety, the anxiety of receiving and responding immediately to text messages. There are physical issues, as I have already talked about, backache, pain, stiffness because of the long screening and using smartphones, decreased or increased sleep, poor appetite, myopia. But at the same time, there is still lack of evidence with regards to how much the developing brains get affected with the screen time and radiation. There are obviously mental health issues associated with smartphone addiction, and there are several reviews, systematic, conceptual, narrative reviews, which highlight the association with depression, anxiety, stress, self-esteem. Now, coming to the current times, the COVID has created unprecedented times where we have faced lockdown, complete closure of educational activities for children, gyms, and they have been restricted homes and not allowed to go shopping. They are not allowed to meet their friends face to face. Social distancing has become a new norm. Some of the children have to be quarantined, isolated because of several situations. Maybe the parents have become positive, or the parents the children have become positive, or they have been quarantined because of the exposure to positive patients. There sometimes the children have to had face with death and bereavement. So these are the situations which the children and adolescents have faced ever since the lockdown has started. Although there is staggering opening of all the things, but still the social distancing has become the new norm. So let's see what the studies, what the literatures talk about the mental health, COVID, and smartphone use. So COVID there are a number of studies. Highlight, I have here shown several surveys where shows adequate sample and show that there are change in emotional states and behavior among children when there is since COVID has started. During the quarantine period, the children have become more dependent on the screen. There is a sedentary lifestyle and increased hours of sleep. Most of the studies do talk about depression and distress among children in different parts of country. So with COVID, there is a changed pattern of technology use. We are living now with mobiles. The TV and video have been replaced with mobile phones. New norm of social distancing and has led to the school and college closure, and the children have remained isolated, learning online. Here I would like to highlight that many children who are belonging to lower middle strata, they are deprived of devices like laptop, computers, and they are solely dependent on the smartphone, and are residing in areas where net connectivity is poor. The mobile has become accessible, cheaper, and available, but still we have to consider about digital divide. Recently, we have been covering the Delhi government schools, and we found 88% of the children had WhatsApp, but net connectivity was so poor that thinking of face-to-face interaction on the virtual platform was impossible. So, smartphone does provide applications. Children do think that it is smart to be on the smartphone and want to possess it. But due to COVID, now it has led to an extreme. There is a threat of excessive use of smartphone. There is excessive screen time. Many studies have indicated that. Many studies have reported sedentary lifestyles, exposure to harmful content, misinformation about COVID, because there are a lot of information coming, and smartphone provides the 24/7 information on the phone. Cyberbullying, as reported by the victim and the predator, has become very common, usually using messaging chat rooms and emails. Gaming disorder has risen. There are a number of studies reporting that, even in the Indian context. Gambling has also risen, and there are, of course, various reports that talk about psychological distress as predictor of COVID and smartphone addiction. Now, coming to screen time, because this is most important in the context of children and adolescents, where there are half the day they are online for their learning, for their classes, as well as for their home assignment. Then they are not allowed to go out. So for entertainment, they are forced to use games, movies, shopping online. The socializing among adolescents is primarily through now Zoom, Google Meet, social media sites like Facebook's. So the studies do report increasing online gaming, gambling, and poor mental health as outcome as associated with high screen time during COVID times. while looking at the literature, I could come across a few studies that compared pre-COVID period with that of the current times. Definitely, there is a dramatic increase in the online activity as compared to the previous one. Earlier, we would talk about that internet has proliferated, but now most of the children and adolescents, they have been forced to make the net available, and that is primarily through smartphone. However, unfortunately, in India, we don't have substantial evidence to say what kind of patterns exist when the children are handling smartphones. The survey has shown increase of 80% when with that of social media exposure, which has led to the increase in mental health issues and along with the fear of uncertainty. An Indian study compared the factors which affected the cyberbullying and found that there are change in the pattern, there are change in the vulnerability, susceptibility of the people to comment and also to indulge in the activity of hate online. There, even the factors also changed in relation to cyberbullying, like children were more giving preference for interacting with strangers. However, the sample size was small, and like in this study also, which is have been conducted in Indian context, in relation to screen time during the lockdown, the changes in the sleep pattern, it was found that the sleep duration was recorded to increase during the weekends while dipped during the weekdays before lockdown. Again, the comparison between before lockdown and during lockdown, one can see there is a steep rise in the latency, which was seen as the time taken from going to bed until falling asleep. And there was a lowest sleep inertia, which was defined as the difference between wake up time and the time being fully alert. The lowest sleep inertia was recorded on the weekdays, that is before lockdown occurred. So gaming during COVID, I would like to highlight this because even in India also, not only the gamers have gone up, but Indian-based gaming company like Winzo also have reported 3 times more users engagement, 30% higher multiplayer media have been reported. However, we don't have evidence how gaming has changed, the patterns have changed. Coming to an end, I would also want to highlight that we are running a behavior addiction clinic at AIIMS. In the pre-COVID times, we tried to examine all adolescents, patients coming with various complaints in the psychiatry OPD with different mental health symptoms, excluding the non-psychotic cases, and children who could not read and write in the age, who were falling in the age range of adolescent group. They hardly reported problems related to internet addiction or smartphone addiction. There were few cases where the parents talked about excessive gaming. In fact, would like to mention that there was we mentioned the first case report of Blue Whale game that was brought to us by the parents, that also because there was a school referral. In the clinical setting, in the OPD, we found that the children who were finally identified with excessive mobile use, they came with the presenting complaint of primarily with academics issue, low mood or irritability, or increased conflict with parents. There was definitely always a denial among the adolescents, no, I don't have a problem with smartphone addiction. Everyone does it, everyone uses it, and I can control if I want to. I use it because I want to stay connected with my friends. We also conducted a survey in the community and found that gaming behavior definitely had increased in Delhi. There was a decrease in the gaming during the lockdown period, and definitely the gaming was associated with examination related stress. The children are stressed due to COVID with the online classes where there is no interaction face to face with the teachers. They sometimes the classes, the children in the classrooms have changed sections, so there is no one to connect. With this, I would like to summarize how COVID, due to its issues of social distancing, isolation, school closure, has resulted in increased screen time. When we are talking about screen time, it is not through other devices. Primarily it is through smartphones, which excessive use has led to interpersonal conflict with the family members, especially when the parents are also working at home, from home. There are mental health issues in relation to COVID, in relation to excessive screen time, and in relation to smartphone use. But how the interplay of COVID with smartphone use has resulted in the various increase in terms of the social networking sites, the pattern of use, the cyberbullying issues, that requires more evidence. To conclude, I would say that we need to understand who all are responsible. They need to accept their role. They need to be aware that smartphone use can also be problematic. Many times when the patients come, the parents often are not aware that the excessive use can actually lead to multiple issues, negative consequences. Indian research is still at nascent stage and we don't have answers to many questions as simple as what are the various activities that the children are using when they are using smartphone. We don't have hardcore data. In the times of COVID, the dependency on smartphone for learning and recreation mandates the responsible use. Since the next speaker is going to talk about the management, so I will not be covering that. Thank you.
Now you unmute.
Thank you, ma'am. Over to the chairpersons. There are about 3 questions. Sir, would you like to take up any? Ma'am?
Thank you, madam. You just go ahead with the question because I am not able to open the question this side. You just go ahead with the question, then we can close the session after that.
Yes, sir. Can I read it out, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
The first question doesn't seem very relevant. Whether myopia has been proved to be an effect of smartphone addiction. Ma'am, I would take up the second question. What are the main reasons for problematic smartphone uses in children and adolescents? Is there any relationship to the parents?
Yes, ma'am. This question from Dr. Nana Walla from Surat.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, would you please like to address this?
Dr. Nana, please address this.
Yeah. First of all, although it is not relevant, but since I was going through the studies, I did find that smartphone addiction was related to myopia, but one can say that is the effect or the cause. The studies did just say that they are associated. Second, coming to the more relevant question, the main reasons. The reasons for smartphone use, problematic smartphone use, as I had highlighted in my slide, that they are multifactorial. One cannot say that it is psychological, it is the vulnerable child, whether he is lonely or it is the temperament, not able to connect with the friends, or it is to do with coming to the second part, that whether there are interpersonal conflicts with the family members, or he is not able to find alternative activities. The parents have not given ample time with the children so that he is not dependent on the smartphone use all the time. So it is that
Yes,
there is a single factor. It's the biopsychosocial factor which could lead to a problem. Sometimes the social support is there, the family support is there. I think someone needs to mute that. Uh, if there is a social support, the family supportive, they are able to give the quality time. The chance of the child using smartphone irresponsible. That is what the study reported.
Ma'am, would
Yes,
you
ma'am.
like any other question?
This is from the Dr. Jayaprakash, madam. Is there any help, like problematic use for any effective treatment for the problematic use of smartphone? Madam, would you like to take this question, madam?
Yes, I'll briefly answer it if I can, because the next
Yes, ma'am.
speaker will be talking management of smartphones. So I did not
Yes, ma'am.
intentionally cover that, but
Yes.
yeah, I would say
Encroach into that area.
yes.
Yes, yes.
But I would still say that with children and adolescent, the management is certainly distinct from those of adults. Here we need to deal with at the behavioral level. Limit setting is the focus. One needs to provide digital free time to the child, ensure that. Secondly, one needs to build a healthy relationship between child and family members. One needs to identify the alternative options so that the child has other options to use other activities which are equally reinforcing to the child. I think I will not elaborate because there would be a lot of
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
speaker.
I think the next question will get solution when the next speaker speak. So with the paucity of time, I think we will not spend much time in now. Excellent, madam, for your thank you very much for your excellent presentation.
There is last question. I
Yes,
would
ma'am.
like to. There is definitely
Answer. Yes.
positive impact of smartphone use. In the COVID times, smartphone has actually been a solution for many children, especially in the rural setting,
Yes.
and the children who are from the lower strata. They are actually receiving all the material related to the academics through smartphone. I would like to add here, we are conducting a survey among the daily school children. 50 schools have been covered, and we found that unlike the private schools, the teachers are not able to connect with the children directly. The material is sent to the children WhatsApp. So smartphone use is actually very, very beneficial, especially in the COVID time, for the children for learning as well as for the recreation.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. We'll close the session. And if my co-chair want to add something, you can just. Otherwise, we can close the session. We can go to next session.